Hello, everyone, and welcome to Designing for the Future, Leveraging AI, UDL, and Flexible Course Design for Inclusive Learning. My name is Dr. Anwar Hijaz, and I'm a political science faculty member at Saddleback College and a faculty mentor for CVC at One. I'm so excited and pleased to introduce our amazing facilitator today, Ellie Constantine. Ellie has dedicated her career to empowering students with disabilities, starting in K-12 education and advancing to higher education. She served for 13 years as the DSPS faculty member at Mission College, where she led UDL trainings and championed institutional accessibility. Now, as the distance education director at Cypress College, Ellie supports faculty in creating inclusive online learning environments. She also serves on the AI State Council and various regional and district AI committees. She's also a special AI advisor for accessibility at the Digital Center for Innovation, Transformation, and Equity. She's also passionate about nature and enjoys camping, snorkeling, and cherishes her roles as a mom, wife, daughter, and pet parent. So before we get started, I wanted to also share a few announcements. During the webinar, we will share a survey link for your feedback. Please fill out the survey. It will only take a few minutes, and it really helps the CVC to improve and design programming that better meets the needs of our system. So we really appreciate your time in completing it. Lastly, while @ONE provides badges for course completion, we do not offer badges for attending the webinar. However, if your institution requires proof of attendance for flex credit or professional advancement, please stay until the end, complete the survey, and request a copy of your responses via the Google form. This confirmation can serve as proof of your attendance. With that, I will go ahead and turn it to you, Ellie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, CVC, for asking me to present again. I appreciate it. I'm honored. Welcome, everybody. I want to express my gratitude for you all being here. As somebody who worked in DSPS for a long time, I have a child with a disability. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day on this very rainy Tuesday to learn and be curious about supporting our diverse students. So thank you. All right, let's dive in. I won't go over this. We already know who I am. Okay, so let's provide a little context here before we talk about the cool tools. We serve a lot of students, right? 2.2 million students, over 116 colleges, and over 120,000 students of those students receive DSPS services currently. Research suggests that 15 to 20% of our students may be neurodivergent. So we serve 120,000 students, but 15 to 20% of our students identify as neurodivergent. So having some sort of executive function impairment. So if you do the math, right, there's a gap. There's a huge population gap there. So I want to hear from you all before we look more at data. How many of you all experience this in your classrooms? How many of you worked with a student who is clearly struggling but was not formally identified with a disability or receiving DSPS support? How many of you all felt that, experienced that in your classrooms? And I just want to get some feedback here because we know what the numbers say, but we want to hear from the instructors, the people in the classroom. Get a lot of thumbs up. Yep. Okay. So right now I'm not seeing very many rarelys, right? We're seeing, yes, happens all the time, occasionally, seen it a few times. So your experience in the classroom is very much supporting that information, that data. Right, okay. Thank you. And you can continue voting if you need to. All right, so let's dive into the numbers a little bit more. 60% of our students with disabilities do not disclose. 60%. Why? Why do y'all think? Throw it in the chat. What do you think? Stigma, right? Sometimes it's cultural. High cost of evaluations, access to evaluations, right? Our medical care system is difficult to navigate, right? Sometimes we don't have insurance. I had a student who had to wait a year to get an evaluation. So limited access, lack of awareness of what's out there, previous negative experiences with disclosure. There's a whole host of reasons why our students don't come forward when they're having challenges or when they're having difficulties. A lot of times they'll say, I had a really bad experience in the K through 12. I don't want to go through that again. My IEP experience was terrible. I don't want to go through that again. I want to try to do this alone. So we have a hidden population on our campuses that are silently struggling, right? And those students might look like a student who's just inattentive or maybe lack of motivation, right? And a lot of times we don't see that, right? We don't see it because we're good at school, most of us, right? We're so good at school. We have this all figured out. In fact, we didn't even leave. I'm speaking in general terms, right? Like I got it all, I figured it out when I was a kid, right? And I never left the system. I'm here. I like it, right? I have it all figured out. It's all very clear to me. But there's a lot of students who don't, right? And there's that hidden curriculum that they weren't able to access. So sometimes it's very hard for us to see that because that's not our perspective, because we figured it out as kids. Sometimes it's hard for us to see these invisible barriers that our students have to navigate because we didn't have those invisible barriers because we were able to figure it out, right? So the takeaway from this is variability is our new normal. It's a rule. It's not an exception. And there's a lot of students that are invisible to our traditional support system model that are in our classrooms right now. And you all have witnessed that and experienced that and lived that, right? So let's look at our current model that we have, which I want to just preface, incredibly valuable. Okay, the current DSPS model is incredibly valuable. I came from DSPS. I'm not going to knock that, right? Especially students that require accommodations that extend beyond the traditional. Okay, incredibly, incredibly valuable. So these two things will, I believe, should exist at the same time. But it is document heavy. Could we agree on that, right? You got to provide a lot of documentation. Many students sometimes wait to get services. I used to have that experience where a student would come and talk to me maybe 3 to 4 weeks into the semester. And then by that time, they've already maybe failed a test, maybe they've failed a quiz, right? And their self-assessment is really low at that time. A lot of times they'll drop because they're like, I'm too far gone. But they've waited so long to get the services. So it's more of a reactionary response. It's a reactive model, okay? The AI pivot or the AI kind of shift, and I say AI enabled because it's just helping us with this, right? It's not replacing us. It's going to help us with this shift, is in proactive, inclusive design from the inception. So thinking about our classrooms as a place that anticipates variability from the very beginning, from the design. From the minute you start thinking about your class, you are anticipating all these different learners. We build the accessibility into the creation of the course. We're not waiting for our students to come to us. We're not waiting for them to go to DSPS. And we design that flexibility from the inception. So what AI can do, what AI can help us do, is to amplify our ability, accelerate our ability to really meet students where they are and accommodate all students in our class. So the curb effect, you've probably seen this before, right? So we have a curb, right? We have a curb cut, and it was designed for somebody with a disability in a wheelchair, but look who benefits from it, right? The person with the shopping cart, the person with the stroller, the bicyclist, maybe someone with a temporary disability, maybe someone carrying heavy luggage, When we design for the folks in the margin, it benefits everyone. I hear a lot sometimes, oh, well, why do I have to do all this work? Because I might only have one student who needs a screen reader, right? Or, maybe one or two students. This is a lot of work for one or two students. But the work that we're doing, hopefully amplified by AI, will benefit everyone. Okay? So I really want that to kind of sit with us as we're looking at these tools. Let me look at the chat really quick. Any questions? Yeah, so avoidance, pretending it's okay, and they will be able to fix themselves. Yeah, totally. DSPS understaffed, absolutely. I don't need it in college, even though I had it in high school. Yes, and you have to keep re-registering, right, for DSPS. So there's just a lot of barriers there. And that's why a lot of students don't disclose, 60%. Okay, so before we dive in, AI is not replacing you. Not in this, not here, not what I'm talking about, okay? You are a critical piece of this puzzle. You are steering this ship, okay? So you are in charge. We cannot use AI unless we are involved because AI makes mistakes, right? You've heard of hallucinations? AI makes mistakes. AI is not always perfect. So we have to constantly be evaluating the output. Everything AI does, we need to always check. So there still needs to be a fundamental accessibility knowledge. You still need to have the foundation of accessibility, an understanding of it. Okay, so because we always have to check what it's telling us, what it's giving us. Okay, so I want that to be kind of forefront. So you'll see this pop up a lot. And what that's going to remind us is to always check AI. And if I forget to, when I'm demoing the tools, if I forget to check it, please throw a check mark in the chat to remind me, okay? Remind all of us that we need to always check AI because we're in charge. We're in charge. Okay, so you guys promised me you're gonna remind me? All right. All right, so let's look at some tools here. Ludia AI, it's a UDL trained chatbot. It can create accessible content, inclusive design based in UDL 3.0. Universal Access Bot. This is a bot that I created. If you saw my webinar last year, I demoed it. We're going to be playing with it again. So what it does is it makes content UDL friendly, UDL 3.0 aligned. It can revise your material for Canvas accessibility. So WCAG 2.1 AA, right? So that's the new ADA standard. So it's going to create, remediate your content for accessibility and comply with WCAG 2.1 AA. It's trained in the OEI rubric, so it's POCR aligned. It enhances accessibility, inclusive design. It adapts assignments and materials for diverse learners. It can convert a PDF to an HTML, which I'll show you how to do. It can generate image descriptions or alt text, and it can add really cool styles to your page to improve readability and usability. Because when we talk about accessibility, we're not just talking about compliance, check mark, check mark, check mark, right? We're not just trying to pass the accessibility checker. We actually want to create usable experiences for our students. Robust, perceivable, usable experiences that our students can digest and understand. That's the goal, not just compliance. Next, we have Gemini. Okay, so that's, I think all of you guys may have heard the news, right? Our system is created, is in contract with Gemini. Gemini has a lot of great engagement tools. So they can you can create videos and images. Story generation is awesome. It can simplify and format content for students. It can support executive functioning and metacognition. So you can have Gemini review my weekly schedule and suggest study times. So students can kind of take control and use it as a tool for metacognition. You can use it to search for additional material to supplement your curriculum. So you can use it to search at OpenStax or at YouTube. You just type in at OpenStax in the search bar, and it can search across OpenStax for OER material. Oh, pretty awesome. Notebook LM, anyone use that yet? It's pretty popular, right? Also a Google tool. It does a great job summarizing and synthesizing course materials into very clear, student-friendly versions. So a student can upload all their PowerPoints, all their readings, PDFs, and it will kind of synthesize and summarize it. It can create, it builds engagement through podcasts. That podcast feature is pretty cool. It can create videos. Caveat, verify accessibility. Okay, so that's part of my work with the Digital Innovation Center. It's not all accessible, okay? But it is a very, very interesting tool. Hemingway AI. Pretty awesome, and it can adjust your writing to match various reading levels. So if you have a student with a particular reading level, you know that reading level, you can kind of modify, it'll modify that content to the reading level of that particular student. So that can help with clarity and comprehension. And then the accessible syllabus bot, this is also one that I created on PlayLab. So it can take your really old syllabus, which I've done this before, and make it into an accessible WCAG 2.1 AA compliant syllabus that's student friendly and includes some things like an AI policy and things that maybe we didn't really think about putting in there. And it's based off the Tulane University Accessible Syllabus Project. Okay, so we are going to dive into, oh, what did I forget? Always check your AI, right? Always check it. Every single one of these are all great, but you're in charge. Thank you for the reminder, check mark. All right. So let's look at this universal access bot. And Anwar, are you able to put the link in the chat?
Yes, for this
For folks?
universal access bot?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me pull it up.
Thank you. Okay. So this is trained in UDL 3.0 guidelines. It's trained to make content accessible for Canvas, right? So it's got the allow list, the Canvas code allow list programmed in there. It's also trained on the OEI rubric. It's aware of specific coding limitations in Canvas, and also it's trained in WCAG 2.1 AA. And then it has some really cool styling features. So you can ask it to put expanders in, a banner, alternating color blocks, tabs. So it'll prompt you through that. So you don't need to know the specific code for that. The bot has that all in there. Okay, so again, we're looking for not just accessibility, but we're also looking for design and usability, right? In the page, not just compliance. All right, so let's demo it. So here is my assignment. It's a business assignment. So read chapter 2 of Foundations of Business, PDF download below to learn about the 5 functional areas of business and finance, management, operations, marketing, and accounting. After reading, choose one area that interests you the most or that you might consider as a future career. In your response, explain why this area appeals to you, such as the type of work it involves, the skills it uses, or how it contributes to a company's success. Then include 3 thoughtful questions you have about the functional area or careers related to it. Your paragraph should show understanding of the topic and curiosity about how different business functions work together. And so we have a link to the PDF here. And here are the prompts that we could potentially use. So this top one is kind of a general prompt. Revise this assignment to improve accessibility and align with UDL, general. The second one is more of a targeted prompt. So this student struggles with organization and reading comprehension. So really identifying that point of friction for maybe a specific student. And then I had the third prompt here I added is for ESL students. So use clear, simple English and define key terms, include examples or visuals, provide sentence starters, allow short or audio responses, encourage personal or cultural connections. So, and if you don't know where to start, ask the bot. Ask the bot. I don't know where to start. What's a good prompt for this? And it will guide you through it. It may take a little more back and forth, but that's okay. You're going to get to your answer. And very rarely is your initial prompt going to get you exactly to where you need to be. So there will be some back and forth prompting, and you'll see that in a minute. Okay, so these are some sample prompts. So let me show you what I did. 1 second here. Share my screen again. Okay, so here is the universal access bot. So what I did is I used that first prompt that I showed you. I added a little bit more. So I wanted to add learning objectives, which I did not have. And then I'm asking for a banner and alternating color blocks because I want it to be visually appealing, right? And I want to improve the readability of the page. I'm very much aware of cognitive load of a lot of heavy, dense, heavy text. So I want those kind of styles in there. Then I just copied the assignment right underneath it. Okay. So it says, here is the revised assignment ensuring accessibility and alignment with UDL. The revisions include an addition of a banner, alternating color blocks for readability, detailed learning, objectives, clear instructions. Okay, thank you, thank you. It should show it to me. I think my internet was kind of lagging in the office when I was playing with this. And then it gives like a recap of what it did. So it added learning objectives, cool, improved instructions, flexible submission options, alternating color blocks. Okay, it added a rubric, which I don't want. Okay, so I asked it to show me the HTML, which it did. Thank you very much. But I don't want the rubric, and I'll tell you why I don't want the rubric. We're going to do something with rubrics after this. So I'm going to ask it to remove the rubric. Remove rubric. Okay, here it goes. Here's the revised assignment. So let's take a look at what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it into my course. Make sure you all see it. So edit, go down into the HTML editor, paste. And let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so we have a nice banner. We have learning objectives, which I did not have before. I have my assignment instructions broken down, usage of lists. I have my alternating color blocks, which is very nice, right? Very clear banners. Options for responses. So if you remember, the original assignment was just a paragraph. Now I am allowing a written document, an audio recording, a video presentation. Again, if you don't like any of this, change it. And you can also prompt the bot to change it, right? You could say, no, I don't want this, I want this. You're in charge. So it gave me some more options to account for that variability in my class. So, and this is also trained in POCR. This is trained on the OEI rubric. So we have instructions for students on how to upload a Canvas video, how to submit an assignment, how to upload an audio file. The bot is trained to always include that. and a grading feedback statement, which I did not have before. So it's poker aligned, it's fully accessible, and it's ready to go. Again, always check your AI, right? Always check your AI. If you don't like it, change it. Or reprompt the bot. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'll show you the original again. So this was the original. And this is the revised. Pretty nice, huh? Took me 5 minutes. Okay. So remember that PDF that we had to download? Okay. You know what PDF stands for? Painful document fix. It is the worst thing to fix. Okay. So we want to try to avoid PDFs because they are just a pain. They're a pain to fix.
Ellie, before you move on to
Yeah,
PDFs, do you mind answering a question in the
sure.
chat?
Let me go ahead and look in the chat.
It just said, how do the color blocks look in dark mode? We have had issues with this where the text becomes white on gray background or black on a dark background in dark mode.
I'll have to look at it. I haven't played around with it in dark mode. I would have to play with it.
Okay, great.
So
Thank you.
yeah, that's a great question. So let's see. Let's go into PDFs. But is it Allie? Allie, you can shoot me an email and I can follow up with you. But that's a great question. Thank you. Okay, so PDF. Let me share my slideshow here. 1 second. Okay, so the bot will also convert a PDF to an HTML. Most of the AIs can do this. What I like about my bot is that it's trained specifically in the Canvas compliance codes. Sometimes if you use like ChatGPT or something, it'll give you a code and it doesn't show or it's not visible on our Canvas, right? And so it doesn't really populate well once you put it into the Canvas. So this is, my bot is based or trained on Canvas compatibility. So all you need to do is upload your PDF into the bot and you can ask it to convert it into an HTML. Bonus, you can ask it to remediate the for UDL if you want, simplify the language. You can ask it to provide real-world examples if you want, add additional information, organize using tabs or expanders, right? So again, you can just convert it to HTML or you can add some extra things to it. Maybe summarizing it, maybe making it more student-friendly, maybe adding more usability to it by adding color content blocks or tabs or expand whatever call out boxes to make it a little bit more visually appealing. I like using tabs and expanders because when a student first looks at a page, if it's just a dense text, a lot of times it could be completely overwhelming and they shut down, especially if they have some like visual or language processing. So I like to use expanders. So it's hidden and then they can kind of expand as they need, as they go. So let me show you what I did. Share my, oh, and we have to always check AI. We can't forget that. So let me share my conversation. 1 second. So I'm back in the bot. And what I did is I just uploaded that PDF. That PDF I asked students to download. I uploaded it here. And I said, convert to an accessible HTML for Canvas. Organize management, operations, marketing, accounting, and finance content into expanders for readability. Do not modify the language. So the bot likes to change things and align things to UDL and make things student friendly. If you don't want it to modify any of the language or any of the content, make sure you say that, okay? And include an accessible banner. Okay. So let's see, I said show the HTML. All right, so there it is. Let's copy this and see what it looks like. So I'm going to go into my canvas. Oop, not that one. 1 second. I'm going to keep sharing different screens here. Okay, so I'm in my canvas. Let me make sure y'all see that. Yep, you do. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug this into a page. So not only are PDFs very hard to remediate for accessibility, but it's also another click, another download. And so you're straying the students away from Canvas. So that's adding to their cognitive load. So we want to always try to keep as much as we can inside Canvas, right? And inside that learning environment. So what I'm actually going to do is when I convert this to an HTML, I'm going to link it from within Canvas to my assignment, and then the student can kind of go back and forth. I'll put another link back to the assignment. So I'm going to paste right there, see what it looks like. So there you go. Management, operations, marketing, accounting. So if I click save, you can kind of see it's all, sorry, my screen's big, so I have to turn my head to see. There we go. So everything's in expanders. And so what I would do here is I can, instead of saying click next to continue, the bot always has that pre-programmed. I can say return to assignment or return to assignment 1, whatever it was called, right? And then I can link that back to the original assignment so they can go back and forth very easily. I don't have to have them download anything, right? And now this is all accessible, screen ready friendly.
There's a few questions that came in. This is all, by the way, very fascinating and amazing, and everyone's like in awe. But the first is there any concern for copyright when you're making a copy of content that you don't own from a PDF into a new format?
So this is OER content. So I would definitely link the original PDF. That is part of the OER.
Okay.
So this is all OER material.
So if it wasn't OER, if it was like an article, a peer-reviewed article.
I mean, I always put the original link and I always put, where I got it from. And if you're not changing any of the, language, or you're just changing the format and you link it and cite it, I think you're probably fine. I'm
Thank
not a
you.
lawyer, but I think
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
And
You
then,
could probably argue it.
is this bot programmed for scientific notations in STEM, namely math notations like LaTeX?
So I did add math language to it. So definitely play with it and give me feedback. I haven't had enough STEM faculty play with it.
Yeah, that was from Lois, so that'd be great if you can play
Yeah.
with it and reach out. And then the next one, I have a textbook and PDF separated into chapters. I thought a Canvas page would be too long. Do you have suggestions?
And you want to give the entire book?
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
I would say chunk it out by chapter or whatever you want the students to read, and then in each module just do, that chapter, and then you can use like expanders or different pages for different, I would try to, I'm a big believer in chunking it out and
Thank
separating
you.
it. 30 to 50 pages. Yeah. So you want the students to read all of that. So expanders are these guys, these little, here, I'll show them to you. These are little expanders. Just a little design element. So when students look at the page initially, it's not so overwhelming.
Thank you so much, Ellie.
And then there's the tabs. Tabs are kind of like on the, little, I don't know, tabs. And I suggest you play with it. Play with the bot. look at all these different styles and see what resonates with you. Okay, so we have our PDF ready to go. All right, so remember that rubric? We can't forget about the rubric. So let me share my screen. All right, ditch that old rubric. Any 80s car fans? My husband loves the 80s, old 80s cars. So I created the Universal Rubric Designer for Canvas. This was adapted from Linda Susky's work on using rubrics as a learning tool versus just a grading tool. So they're founded in it's based in the growth mindset. So rubrics are support ongoing development rather than just fixed ability. So it encourages persistence, right? And moving from one criteria to another. The performance levels are very clear and they're also very positive and growth oriented. So the tiers are not yet competent, partly competent, competent, and sophisticated. Okay, and they have observable progress. They're transparent, they're inclusive, there's no mystery to them. They provide actionable feedback, so specific measurable language with clear next steps, which I love. So every single criteria has a next step, so the student can look at it and say, okay, I can move to competent by doing these things. It's very clear with examples. And it aligns to your learning goals. So it's relevant to the student. So let's create a rubric for that assignment that we just did. So here is the Universal Rubric Designer, if you want to check it out. Now this only works with enhanced rubrics. So I'll show you how to enable that. If you forget, don't worry, the bot will tell you, okay? So the bot is programmed to coach you through that as well. Okay, so here's the conversation I had. Create a rubric for the following assignment worth a total of 20 points. And I just copied my assignment that we just created. Okay, learning objectives, right? Assignment instructions, I just copied it all in there. So perfect, thank you for providing the assignment. Total points, 20 points, okay. It's gonna tell you what it's doing. So, okay, cool. Criteria breakdown, it's gonna give you what it's going to break the criteria by. So understanding functional areas of business. These are related to my learning objectives that I fed it. Personal connection and reflection, critical thinking and curiosity, and organization, clarity of expression. So here's the rubric in the readable format. So sophisticated, competent. Let me try to make this smaller so y'all can see the whole thing. Okay, and then what I love is that it gives next steps. So it supports metacognition, it supports growth. So the student will like, well, I'm competent, I can get to sophisticated by doing these things. So it kind of tells you how it aligns with UDL. And then it's going to give you a file, a CSV file. So assuming you looked at this and you like it and everything's great, right? We always check our AI, right? Where's that check mark, right? We always have to check it, right? I'm kind of going through this quickly, but you're checking it, right? You're evaluating it. You've looked it over. It makes sense to you. Cool. Okay. Then you can it'll generate a CSV file. Okay. So this is what's going to go into Canvas, and it even gives you the next steps. So in Canvas, go to rubrics, import rubric, select the file. The rubric will appear as a draft. You want to check it again in Canvas by editing, and then you click Save Rubric. And then it will also walk you through how to attach it to an assignment. So let me show you Canvas. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we turn on Enhanced Rubrics. So in Settings in the course, Feature Options, you want to make sure you have Enhanced Rubrics enabled. Otherwise, you can't upload a file. Okay, so once we do that, we are all set. We're going to go into our rubrics, and you are going to click Import Rubric. And that's where you're going to just drop your file in here that we just downloaded. So this template here, this template is the format that Canvas will accept. The bot is trained in this template. So the bot is trained to create a CSV file in the template that Canvas will accept. Okay, so that you don't have to do that. The bot already knows. So you go ahead and you just drop your file in there. Once it's uploaded, as you can see, I've been playing with a lot of rubrics here. It's going to be in draft mode. We can take a look at it. Again, check, 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 right? So the reason why it's in draft mode is Canvas wants you to check again. So we're going to check, we're going to put it in draft mode. Does everything look great? Yes, it looks very good to me. And then you click Save Rubric. And now it's out of draft mode and it's ready to be attached to an assignment. And if you forget how to attach it to the assignment, you can always ask the bot and it'll give you directions on how to attach it. So what this can do is it can quickly revise your rubrics. You can even create individualized rubrics, like maybe for group projects, right? Or multi-tier rubrics if you have a big assignment. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to quickly adapt your rubrics for students and differentiate for students. And again, always check. Always check your rubrics. So we started from a full assignment remediation for accessibility for UDL 3.0 to create remediating a PDF and now a rubric. So we have the full circle assignment, right, from beginning to the end, and this works in SpeedGrader. So please play with it and give me feedback. I love feedback because then I get feedback and then I can tweak the bot and be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Let me try this. All right.
Someone asked if you want to start small and we turn on enhanced rubrics, will it do anything to the current rubrics?
No, nothing. All it will do is show the import, file import. Okay, so call to action. There's something called a +1 theory. Maybe, have you guys anyone heard of this? Start with one thing. Start with one tool. Choose just one new tool to enhance maybe just one assignment, one content page, maybe change one rubric to start to make your classes more inclusive. If we think about changing an entire course, we're going to just shut down, right? It's a lot of work and it's very overwhelming to think about it because accessibility is hard work. This stuff can be very daunting and sometimes it's considered grunt work for a lot of people, right? And so I like the +1 theory because you just change one thing, make one small tweak. You don't have to change everything now to make a big impact. So maybe make a commitment within the next week or 2 weeks, say, I'm going to just modify one rubric, or I'm going to see if I can play with, maybe update my homepage, something like that. Reflect on your results and celebrate your progress. Don't forget to celebrate what we're doing here. We're doing big things, right? We're evolving how we teach and how we practice and our pedagogy. This is huge. So celebrate. Okay, and then last thing I want to just share with you guys, as part of my advisor work for the Digital Innovation Center, I'm going to be looking at the accessibility of AI tools. So if you are involved in that, or you know somebody who's involved in that, please contact me. Please connect with me. Let's get in contact because I'm doing some work in that space. We have a lot of AI tools being thrown at us, and we need to look at the accessibility. So any questions? We have some time. I cannot believe it.
That's great because I'm sure there are many questions. There was one earlier about rubrics. Have you compared this rubric generator slash creator with the new AI generated rubrics feature in Canvas?
I have
If
not.
so, okay.
Yeah, I don't
We're
have that
asking.
enabled in our district.
If anyone has questions, please go ahead. You can type them into the Q&A or into the chat.
Yeah, let me know. Or if you need me to like walk through something again or show you something again, I'm happy to do that.
It says, can we get the link in order to access the tools via computer rather than phone or QR code? Um,
Yeah,
is
let me
this
share
the
the
link
for
for
the
the
rubric
slides?
or
Here's the slides. I dropped those in.
I think the rubric generator. Let me put the link for that. Okay, so here's the link of the rubric generator.
And the PDF to accessible.
And I'm going to put the universal access bot in there.
Yes, the link, the recording of this webinar and the slides will be posted on the CVC website. So just please give some time for captioning. Ellen is saying she's not seeing links in the chat. Are they being posted elsewhere?
I see them.
Yeah, I see them as well. I wonder, are you on a computer or maybe if you're on your phone, maybe you have to update your app. I can try sending them to you directly.
Oh, there's multiple people that are saying oh, it's in the Q&A, they're saying.
Oh, okay, let's see.
And then here's the syllabus bot.
So I'm not sure if this is a question. Um, I have heard from someone in the LibreText that when we use AI to generate the HTML code, it creates something that is hard for screen readers. I think that's just like they're sharing this knowledge. I'm not sure if you have any
I
info
haven't
on
heard
it.
that because it's it has the compliant accessible code. So and I've tested it with screen readers. So it's been pretty good from my end. I haven't had any issues with it. You can also test it if you enable immersive reader in your course. You can listen to it as well. And I've tested it with JAWS. So I haven't heard that, but I'm
Yeah, I
not
just
sure what they're
realized
using, which AI.
I was dropping the links to the host and panelists. I'm very sorry, everyone. I kept saying people kept asking for the slides, and I was like, I've shared them, but I'm sorry
Oh,
about that. This is the slides now.
yeah. And Ali
And
just shared there are issues with 5HP in LibreTexts.
okay, I will go ahead and I went ahead and shared the link for the survey as well. I shared it earlier, but I must have just shared it to us.
And thank you so much for all your questions and rich interaction. Yes, I created a real action figure. No, it's AI created. It's not me. Definitely not. That
So
was all AI.
I'll go ahead and read some closing announcements and we'll stay on if anyone has more questions. But thank you everyone for attending this webinar, and thank you so much, Ellie, for the wealth of information and knowledge you shared with us today. Before you go, please check the chat for the survey link and take a moment to complete it. You'll receive a copy of your responses, which can serve as verification of your attendance. If you encounter any issues, please feel free to reach out to support@cvc.edu. We also encourage you to explore our other webinars that we'll be offering throughout the term. The link for upcoming webinars will be shared in the chat, and I will go ahead and drop that in right now. I did share it earlier, but I'm sorry it wasn't going to anyone but us. And then lastly, this webinar recordings and associated slides will be available on the CVC at One website. Please allow a few days for captioning before they are posted. Thank you again so much, everyone. And I will stick around if anyone has questions or needs links or anything like that.
Same, I'll stick around. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
So I saw a question about where's the attendance form. So it's not an attendance form, it's a survey. And when you complete it, you can get a copy. So I went ahead and dropped it. Rebecca's asking about enhanced rubrics isn't an option in my feature options menu. Does it need to be included by administrators? Maybe my district disabled that option.
Yeah, definitely reach out to your Canvas admin.
And you're welcome, Giselle.
And it's not there's a lot of sometimes people are, I know in my district, we're very weary of turning on some of the AI enabled enhancements within Canvas, and Canvas enhanced rubrics is not one of those, so it shouldn't be too controversial to enable it. Access to Gemini. So right now it's in the pilot stage, and certain schools that are considered founding partners with the Digital Innovation Center, I'm not sure if you heard of that, the founding partners will be the first to pilot it, and your school has to agree to be like a Google school. So it doesn't mean you're not going to be using Microsoft. You could still be using Microsoft, and then you enable Google on an enterprise level for your district. So that's something that different colleges are in discussion with right now. So I don't know if on an individual basis we have access. I will say that if you Google Gemini for students, you can get free Gemini for a year, even though we're technically not students. The .edu will give you free Gemini. So give it a try, and you can get Gemini Pro.
All right. With that, I think that's all the questions.
Somebody asked the difference between AI enhanced rubric.
Oh, yeah.
I have not played with AI enhanced rubric because we don't have that enabled in our district, in my instance, my Canvas instance. For mine, it's trained in a specific type of rubric based on Linda Susky's work. So it's metacognitive, growth-oriented, so it uses specific language. So that's what I can say about my rubric. I don't know about the enhanced rubric. I don't know if anybody on here has played with it, but we don't have that enabled.
Hey, Scott, you should have had the option to put your email in and receive the email. But if you didn't, you can contact support@cvc.edu, and I'll put that in the chat. All right. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Ellie. And
Thank
sorry,
you.
everyone. I was dropping in the chat all the links, but I guess, you live and learn every time. Zoom is always teaching me something. And thank you so much to our amazing interpreters.
Thank you, everyone.